What's up, young world? It's Jeff Williams. J-Lang.
Yeah, I think, for us, Flyknit was the technology that was going to allow us to accomplish our goals of really revolutionizing fit and touch. So what Flyknit allows us to do that other synthetics that don't allow us to do is really to engineer down to the millimeter. So, if you think about the midfoot as an example, right? The way a traditional synthetic would operate is it has the same stretch properties everywhere. What Flyknit allows us to do is have different stretch properties in the forefoot versus the midfoot versus the heel, and then certainly Flyknit is what allowed us to take the silhouette up in the dynamic fit collar. So it was just the right tool for what we were trying to do with Mercurial. So what I like in the BOCrew cables too is a 5-point harness in a race car. I mean, the BOCrews are really designed to deliver that lightweight strength and lockdown. So, and when you have that, that's what enables efficiency of movement, right? So what we don't want is an incredibly fast player having their foot move around in the boot, therefore making their movements inefficient and slower. We want to make sure that they feel locked down so that after that first step, it does, as you say, slingshot them forward explosively. Yeah, so what we've always liked about carbon is it's lightweight and very, very responsive, and so that made it a very logical choice to bring back into the Superfly. But what we've been able to do this time that we really, really like is go from 3 plies down to 2. So again, we're able to reduce a little bit of the weight, get the foot closer to the ground without compromising any of that explosive responsiveness, and it just made carbon the best choice for this boot. So when we would take these boots around, some of the early prototypes, one of the most encouraging experiences that we had was giving the boot to players, and as they would put it on, there was almost this sound of air escaping. And what we realized very quickly is that was actually your foot being locked into the boot. And it was a sound that we had never heard before when players put on boots, and probably one of the best signals that we were on to a fit that we had never been able to deliver before. Oh yeah, I mean, tons and tons of anecdotes and tons of feedback. But overall, I think what sticks in my mind after 4 years of development and 2 years of working intensively with the players is, first of all, the aesthetic. Obviously something that they've never seen before, nor did they ever expect to see. But two, this notion of a sock-like fit is something that we never scripted. The players actually played back to us, and that's when we knew we had delivered something truly special. When you can deliver something that's never been seen before, and players are telling you is a sock-like fit, it's pretty remarkable. So really what we're after at Mercurial is, if you go back to this player, we need to make sure that this player is efficient and explosive in all their movements. And what we found in working with our research lab, sport research lab at Nike, is that really when players are slipping, they're losing just those last few millimeters is actually in this toe off area. So what we did was we reinforced this toe area with extra studs, as well as these teeth up here, just to make sure that that last part of your foot that's on the ground before you lift off is fully engaged to make you fully explosive. So it's fantastic. It's a fantastic challenge, actually, because on the one hand, you have to pay respect to the heritage of Mercurial, but on the other hand, we're charged with delivering something that the world has never seen before, and so obviously we had a couple of different tools to work with here. Changing the silhouette was obviously a massive one in terms of changing the aesthetic, but the Hyper Punch colorway itself was also one that, when we looked back at some of the iconic Mercurials, we had never delivered one in this specific color. We had done one in the Rosa color, for example, everybody remembers from Cristiano's hat trick. but never in this color. And so our ability to actually even use the Flyknit technology to knit several colors together to deliver this hyper punch is something we were super excited about. And then some of the details, which obviously you'll get into as you get a little bit closer to the boot, but even some of the reveal colors that you have, which again, just our traditional synthetics don't allow for this type of aesthetic discovery, was something that we were really excited about. Yeah, I think it all comes back to just playing style. I mean, we know for that Mercurial player that is an explosively fast player who's willing to sort of edit everything away from the boot to enable that type of they want the most minimal edited upper. They're looking at bladed traction, highly responsive on the plate. Whereas that Magista player, that playmaker, really wants something different. They want more of texture in the upper for ball manipulation and control. And then on the plate itself, that's a player that actually rotates a little bit more because they're typically in the middle of the pitch. And so they want conical studs. So really, aside from the dynamic fit collar, those two boots are actually quite different in their design specifically for those different playmakers. Yes. But at Nike, we're always innovating. I think we feel very, very good and believe strongly in the promise of Flyknit. And really, I think we've only scratched the surface of its potential. But we'll always sort of hunt down the best possible way to make boots, just given the ever-changing insights that we get from the game. But overall, I think we believe that Flyknit has an incredibly promising future.